think a lot of people who are conversant with northern politics will know that both Leandro and Mapinduzi are sort of mentored by Mao, and but Leandro seems to be like the second lieutenant to Mao with Uganda Young Democrats. That seems to have been his baby, and through Uganda Young Democrats, a lot of other politicians came along. You have the Tony Kitaras, you have Mapinduzi himself, even Mwagale Turumo himself, and another one possibly is you have Okot Alfred Chen, and these guys were very influential at the time we were in the university running demonstrations. If you remember the Kakoza Mutale era, going in schools and beating up people and all these things, these guys really stood up for students and all of that, and they did a great job while they were at it. So yeah, I was saying about Kwat Chen. These were really critical guys in the era when the war. Yes, we have Harry back on.
Yes, I'm back.
So yeah, before I brought you back, I was talking about some of the good politicians that were groomed right from university days. I mean, when we talk about Awan Tony, we talk about Odong Auta, we talk about Alfredo Chen, we talk about several of them, Mwagalo Turumoy himself, some of them have now dispersed all over the world. An interesting guy that nobody seems to be knowing anything about is Alfredo Chen. As the war was ending, these people were really hands-on demonstrating. If you heard about the Kakoza Mutale era and going into
I
schools,
remember.
beating up people and all these things, and we did have our student leaders that did a lot at the time. But right now, obviously you're in the diaspora, and I want to get to this because there seems to be a resilience against diaspora candidates, and that would possibly affect Laika Shahid. She's in London at the moment. Alfredo Chen. It would affect Mwagalu Turumoy as well because is in the States, as it were. Do you think this resistance is really necessary? Because when you look at somebody like Mwagale Turumoy, you look at somebody like Alfredo Korochian, they're very clued into local politics. And similarly, somebody like that, very clued into local politics. And I'm in Southampton, you're in the States, I don't know. So is there any concern that somebody was being away from home, was gone for genuine reasons to sort of find the means and the way to develop home, and that's what they do to develop home, should be denied the opportunity to contest and not be received as any other candidate?
One thing, okay, what I call that should be greed trying to be against people in diaspora, because in real sense, if Gulu City as a whole manage, at least I know there's a good percentage that has built Gulu City, that at least the people from diaspora have built, say, for example, Gulu Independent Hospital. We all know Gulu Independent. We all know that's, was it London money? So, yeah, so it's not like everybody. It's like in diaspora, we are all people of all walks. So that said, everybody, there's that saying, even a nursery kid knows east or west home is best. So at every level, everybody who's in diaspora at least has a dream or a goal or to build something home. So there's a substance that these people see. It's not like they are after salary, or like the way sometimes they say, it's not about the earning. There's some substance that they see is lacking that they want to bring in. Say like for say like if we go see Gulu City, a lot of people have bashed Gulu City that, oh, how can that be called a city? But me as an actually, I'm proud all how far we came to have a city. Now, having some leaders who have been in, it's also a blessing that they can bring substance. Also, because in real sense, life, the work of life, all every African country or Asian countries, we are imitating the West. So, person who has been here, say like Laika or Alfred, okay, what substance? There are some substance they can bring. They have their tradition they had, because we can't leave our tradition as a Choli. Then also the substance that we have by staying here, what I've seen here, what can I transition it into Gulu? Like I've been discussing with you how to make. Okay, we don't have any natural resources in Gulu, but we have had discussion with you how we can make Gulu as a city vibrant. Say like culture, how we can empower and our culture. So those are some of the substance these candidates can bring on. So, like I said on earlier on, everybody is trying to build or to make a development at home. So depending on our
Perhaps
purpose.
let me just add very briefly as well. When we look at the history of the North, after the 80s and the 90s, there was not really any money forthcoming from government. The only people that had a salary in Gulu were possibly soldiers, police, and teachers.
NGOs.
And they were on very low salaries. And then we start seeing the real development, the structural development, like the buildings and everything. Most of the money came from the diaspora, really. So it's only from about 2000 when we start seeing the local businessmen and other people spring up, the likes of the Moros and other big people. And when you look closely as well, even this, in a sense, had somebody in the diaspora that channeled money to them. So I think it's very unfair for people to, when your brother's gone or your sister's gone hunting, to then turn around and say, oh, you know, you left home, you don't belong. Because we
don't belong to us.
it's a big issue. It's an issue I've had from my friends from the Sudan. I've had the same from my friends in Somalia. It almost seems like when you go away and do everything that you had to do and you're trying to come back home, these people don't want you anymore. And I don't know if it's down to taking over your resources or whatever, but there must be some selfishness going on there, which is very unfair. And I think people need to talk more about these issues. So just very briefly, if you can comment about the land situation, because for me, I think the land issue is just a case of trying, like you said, we're kind of following the West. But I think one of the contentious issues now in the North, the land issue, is very much down to the fact that Western legislation just doesn't apply to African culture. And that in itself breeds a lot of conflict.
Yeah, in my opinion, honestly, when it comes to land issue, I'm a little bit green on like the way land issue is handled in Gulu. But what I know, okay, we have always been based on communal land, of which there's no kind of law that kind of protects our land, like the way you see Baganda, for them, they're organized with Buganda Land Board. So this is something that our lawmakers need to come up with, at least if they could forge like some kind of law that, because we have been based on a communal land system, of which it's hurting. It's hurting, given that we are coming or transitioning after post-war. So if
Derek, I'll bring you on the screen in a minute. If you just hold on for a minute. Yes, please, Harry, carry on.
Yeah, so land issue, we should come up with a solution whereby they should come. It's an urgent thing that they should come up, either if they come up with a Choli land board, like the way Bahaganda have their land board. That's one thing that should be on number one issue that should come on agenda of all leaders of all capacities.
Okay.
From LC1 to LC5 to parliamentarian. This is something. This is a time bomb ticking that needs to be worked on immediately.
Okay. All right, Harry. Thank you very much for staying with me through this discussion. I think we're gonna conclude now. Basically, been discussing the role of an MP had very good observations from Charles Soleak. Thank you very much, my brother. Harry Larubi in the States, thank you very much, my brother. And I hope those of you who stayed with us and followed, I've learned a little bit about Northern politics and what's at stake. Um, have a lovely evening. We shall continue with these forums and dialogues, and just to try and make things a lot clearer for the local voter and for our people as well. I've been Jeffrey Mono. Thank you very much for staying with me. I really appreciate it. Have a blessed evening and a blessed week. Thank you. Bye.